slavery. We now move on to Genesis 39. He's now bought by Potiphar, wealthy Egyptian, and an officer of the Pharaoh and captain. And we're looking at verses 1 through 6. And it says here, Potiphar bought him from the Ishmaelites who were taking him from there. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man. He was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord made all he did to prosper at his hand. So Joseph found favor in his sight, served him. Then he, this is Potiphar, made him overseer of his house, and all that he had he put in his hand. So it was from that time that he had made him overseer of the house, and that all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake and thanks. Well, this is great. I mean, this is a wonderful thing for us to look upon as Christians. That if God has truly called us to be these servants, these helpers, that God will bless our work. Whether we serve secular masters, whether we're in institutions such as I am that are non-Christians and things, there can still be a great blessing of God for that institution on our behalf, upon our work and our things. That's just a wonderful claim that we can have here. And I would expect that. I really would expect that God would be blessing us as administrators, those we administrate over and help, and those that we serve. And really, every administrator has a boss. You can just go through that. Even the President of the United States, in a way, his boss is the people of the United States. So all of us have to answer to somebody. And Joseph had to answer to Potiphar. Well, see, this brings up now a second part of administration that I didn't understand and I was surprised about. Is we talked about all these skills and things you need in administration, but we didn't talk about the fact that when you become an administrator, there are new temptations. There are new things that never happened to you before in your life. Joseph is now in this situation, and one of the temptations is not mentioned here, but it's implied from the text, is he had all of the wealth of his master available. And so one temptation would be simply to embezzle funds, to take funds for his personal gain. There is that temptation. And I'll tell you, as you move into administration, as you have more control over larger budgets and pools, there is many an administrator that has fallen because of that temptation. And see, that's something you have to start to consider. Something, again, like you. I didn't put that in. Wow, that's part of administration, is new temptations. I didn't think of that. Yes. Yeah, there's more power, there's more authority, and with that comes the possibility of abuse. Well, the other thing about administration is you can never anticipate all that's going to happen. There is always something that's going to come up that's going to catch you quite by surprise. No matter how well prepared you are, no matter what you think you're doing, and this is well illustrated here, is who would have guessed that Potiphar's wife would be making sexual advances upon Joseph? Everything was going perfect for Joseph. Finally, he's got a start of a successful administration. Totally blindsided. Well, Joseph's reaction was absolutely appropriate. He did the right thing. He just fled from the situation. He tried to get out of that. He was not going to, abuse the privileges he had in the office. He was not going to, take Potiphar's wife or anything like that. No, he got out of there. But sometimes in administration, things happen to you that you just have no control over. And all of a sudden, he found his career gone. And I'll tell you, there are times as administrators, you simply, because you're an authority figure, there are things that can just come against you that, through no fault of your own, can end your career in that particular enterprise. And this is something, and again, I had no idea when I went into administration that because you become a figurehead, in a way, you're open to more attacks than you ever were before, that you're more in the public eye, that there's more envy towards you, there's more hatred towards you, despite the fact that you may have no animosity towards these people or no reason for abuse to these people. There still are things that can happen that you just simply don't have control over. Joseph's reaction was absolutely right. I mean, he served the Lord. Here's an instance where he was a good administrator. Now remember, with the sheep and with, his brothers, he was a terrible administrator. But we see some growing up happening here. He was a very, very fine administrator with a disastrous career. And you may think, well, that's not fair. I know. Sometimes administration isn't fair. Sometimes the good administrators are in disrepute for no fault of their own. And that's unfortunately what happened to Joseph in this instance. I always think about the fact that he wasn't killed, he wasn't put to death, and I'm assuming that Potiphar had that right to kill him. So there must have been some doubt in Potiphar's mind that, maybe my wife has done this before, or I trust Joseph and stuff, but he was imprisoned instead. So this